Okay, now that you have written your rough draft, it's time to move into the last three stages of the writing process. We revise, edit, and then we finally publish. And I'm going to combine all three of these stages into one lesson today. So, the first thing I want you to do is to take your paper copy of your rough draft, and I want you to make sure that you have at least 20 different memories throughout the poem. Okay, you need to have one memory per line on the poem. If you are missing some, stop right here and I want you to brainstorm in your head a few more ideas and add that to your rough draft. If you have all 20, then you're ready to go on to stage number 2. This is where I want you to revise by adding descriptions. Okay. We talked about this when you wrote your rough draft. For each memory, I want you to describe it in some way. And on that last page of your packet, I've got some words that might help you, um, give you some ideas. For example, if you wrote the line, I am from basketball, that's a great idea. And I love that you pick something that's important to you, but I need a little bit of description for that. So instead of saying, I'm from basketball, you could say, I'm from my favorite sport, basketball, where I run up and down the court with my friends in the late afternoon. I kind of went on and added a lot of detail there. It doesn't have to be that much, but some sort of description so that I can kind of see this idea in my mind. I can visualize it just like you've been practicing visualizing when you're reading. So if you don't have descriptions for all of your ideas, I want you to pause the video, go back and add that to your rough draft using your pencil and paper. All right. If you have successfully make sure you have 20 topics that each have descriptions, you are ready to go to Google Classroom, assignment number 9, and open up the Google Doc I share with you for your final draft. When you open that up, it's just going to be a blank Google Doc. You will see a rubric there so you can see how I'm going to be scoring your writing so that as you write, you can make sure that you're meeting the different criteria I'm going to be looking for. And when you're done typing your final draft, I want you to come back to number 4 and number 5 to make sure you've edited it properly. So pause the video, go type your final draft in Google Classroom, and then when you're done, come back for the last 2 steps. All right, you're at number 4. So what I want you to do with that final draft is make sure that you have these different things. This is called editing or formatting. Make sure that you have 5 separate stanzas. So just like it looks on your rough draft, I want you to hit the return button 2 times so that those stanzas are clearly separated. They're like paragraphs in your poem. Pause the video and do that now if you need to. Next, I want you to make sure the first word in each stanza is capitalized. So if you look at your rough draft sheet, I typed that. Where I'm from, the W is capitalized, and then the other lines are the word from, and you can capitalize the F on those words too. So make sure that the first lines of the stanza are capitalized just the way it looks on the rough draft where I typed it. Also, make sure your title is capitalized. Your title is going to be where I'm from, and it should be typed the same way that I typed it on the rough draft. So fix that if you need to. Make sure all of your proper nouns are capitalized. That's the names. If you use names of people or names of places like Columbia, South Carolina, make sure that those words are capitalized. Those are proper nouns. Also, if you use the pronoun I should be capitalized if you're referring to yourself. So anytime you use the word I need you to go back and make sure that is capitalized. And then finally, your spelling. You're so lucky that you have a spell check in your Google Doc. I did not have that when I was your age. We didn't have spell checks. We just had to know the spellings. What I want you to do, if you don't know how to use the spell check, is I'm going to show you how it works up here. You go to Tools, and you click Spelling and Grammar, and then you're going to click Spelling and Grammar Check. And I already proofread mine, but it will tell you anytime you need to make a spelling change. So check that, make sure your spelling looks good. And then when you're all done, you've done the spell check, you've checked your capitalization, you've got 5 separate stanzas. You are ready to turn this in, which is the publishing stage. This is something optional if you want to do it. You don't have to do it, but it certainly adds a whole another level to your poem. Is if you have a baby picture or a picture of your younger self or just a current picture of yourself, you can add that to your poem. You could just take a picture using your Chromebook camera for a quick selfie too. You don't have to, but it's an option. And then when you're all done, you're ready to turn it in, make sure you click turn in. That's the only way I'm going to know that you're finished. And then I will go ahead and start grading this. I will wait until um, Sunday before I start grading. So you've got a little time this weekend to finish this up. But on Sunday, make sure that you have this turned in. Otherwise, it's going to be counted as late work. So you've got a few extra days if you need that extra time that to build in if you need it. So that's the end. Those are the last stages of your poem project, and I can't wait to see what you come up with.